Good morning. So I think I'm a little late. I think I just went through this whole thing and I wasn't actually live, so I'm going to do it again. Good morning. It's Forgiveness Fridays, and this is Sylvia McIntosh. I am your host, and I want to welcome you to this community to practice forgiveness in support of healing the holes in the souls of humanity. I was trained through the Fearless Living Institute by Rhonda Britton. Belongs to Rhonda Britton. She started it, designed it. It's in Sherman Oaks, California, and I am both a certified Fearless Life Coach and a certified Fearless Trainer. I have two goals for this Forgiveness Fridays program. First is to release ourselves from the past so we can stay in the present moment and function more fully and freely. Second is to focus our energy in a positive way as we listen to the daily news, so much of which seems determined to frighten us individually, divide our communities by placing blame on others. Blame is not solution-oriented. And what our world needs more than ever is solution through cooperation. Today we're going to focus on present moment and positive energy. And by the way, you can do this every day of the week. I call it Forgiveness Fridays because Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time is when I'm live. As a quick review for those of you who are just joining us this week, here's what we did in the previous 4 sessions. The first session, we signed a contract to be willing to forgive. You can get a copy of that contract by joining the Forgiveness Fridays email list. And we wrote or started out a cringe list. That's a list of any person or event that still makes you cringe when you think about it or them. The second session, we used some sentence starters to write a letter of forgiveness about something from that cringe list. There's also a forgiveness letter PDF you can get. The third session, we did the I forgive you list, and I have a PDF copy of that exercise as well. And the fourth session, we talked about the value of and different options for a release ceremony to really wrap things up. Send this event you're forgiving away. Especially if you are just joining us, remember to join the Forgiveness Fridays email list at my website. You'll get free PDF copies of the exercises that we do. You just click the subscribe button on my website, sylviamcintosh.com. Today, we are going to talk about 2 things. We're going to review what we mean by forgiveness, and we are going to talk about forgiving current events. In other words, the news, world events, as well as private exchanges that are happening right now that might be bothering you somehow. When Sonia Riccati was interviewing Rhonda for Sonia's movie Unsinkable, Rhonda said this that I think is so appropriate for what we're getting ready to do today. This describes exactly what I'm talking about. Forgiveness. If you do not forgive, your energy will be stifled. Your energy will be stuck. Your energy will not flow, and you'll wonder why you wake up in the morning not feeling like you want to be alive. So forgiveness for me is one of the keys to a life force, a strong life force. And as I said, the premise of this Forgiveness Friday series is that we will each practice forgiveness and keep our individual energy clear and free, so that we will then be better equipped to find the solution to this pandemic and be willing to cooperate as we implement those solutions. So to review, for our purposes, we are using the definition of forgiveness as the release of an event or comment so we can stay in the past, where it really is. And this means letting go as completely as we can, cutting the string and letting that event fly away like a loose kite. Today we're going to expand this idea to include forgiving things as they happen. Does listening to the news make you feel peaceful, or does it get you all riled up? Whether you are frustrated with how the news is being reported or disturbed by what you hear from whoever is speaking in a live broadcast, right now as we shelter at home, there are so many complaints. Some say the COVID-19 is a hoax meant to impose martial law while we're not paying attention. Others say this is a serious threat and anyone who enters a public space without a mask is endangering everyone else as well as themselves. Some think it's too early to open all the businesses and return to life as normal. And others want to get commerce flowing freely again. Some are eager for a vaccine, and others insist that they don't trust the government or Big Pharma and they wouldn't buy it if it were offered, thinking that that would be the hoax, meant to take more money from the average person and give it to the already wealthy. This pattern of blame and frustration is not helping, is not leading to respect and cooperation, is not leading to healing. Regardless of which side of the arguments your opinions lie, would you be willing to forgive the other side for their views? Think about that. Would you be willing to cherish the innocence of everyone involved, no matter how intentional you believe their behavior is, or what you believe or imagine their intentions are? What if everyone is really doing the best they know? What if the corporate pigs who seem only focused on profit for themselves and their top execs or shareholders and stepping on all the people that work for them, not paying decent wages, not providing benefits, what if they're really functioning out of a deep fear of being seen as incompetent, inadequate, or a failure? What if their worldview is one of limits and their fear is just too great to understand the concept of sharing? What if they are actually acting from fear and ignorance rather than malice? And by ignorance, I mean not knowing, not having been taught. What if you could forgive yourself for judging others for what they do or don't do, for what they know or don't know, for what they believe or disbelieve? If living in judgment is not bringing you the peace of mind and sense of healing you say you want, are you willing to consider giving up that practice and replacing it with the practice of forgiveness? What if you could practice making up stories in which everything works out well for everyone? No blame, no punishment, no injustice, just love, enlightenment, and cooperation. As I see it, the correlation between actively practicing forgiveness and the pandemic is, if the definition of a virus includes that it is something that poisons the mind or soul and requires a living host cell to replicate, then unforgiveness is almost like a virus in that it requires us to keep it going and it poisons our minds as long as we serve as hosts. We are here because we no longer wish to host the unforgiveness virus. So your assignment this week, should you choose to accept, make time right after this or sometime very soon and write out your own fairy tale ending to the COVID-19 crisis or the results of the next election or whatever is going on in our world today that you wish was different. Be specific, be bold. Make this the happily ever after version in which everyone wins and the bad guys reform. No one has to die. No one has to be in jail. No one has to be punished. There's room for everyone. Everyone learns how to communicate and get along and be respectful and tolerate differences, even learn to enjoy differences. This willingness to envision positive outcomes is still a part of the forgiveness process, because this is you actively choosing to stay out of the blame game, because blame is unforgiveness, and that never healed anything. I know you're getting stronger and freer with every person an event you forgive. And remember to keep forgiving yourself too. Very few people, if anybody, ever wakes up thinking, what can I do today to ruin someone else's day? And I don't think any of us ever wake up thinking, how can I screw up my own life today? Your light is getting brighter, bigger, bolder. Shining your light gives other people permission to shine their lights. Remember, you can get free PDF copies of these exercises by signing up for the Forgiveness Fridays email list using the subscribe button on my website, sylviamcintosh.com. And are you dedicated to personal growth and making sure you aren't tripping yourself up? Then please test drive private coaching. Schedule a free 20-minute session with me. You can email me at lifecoachmcsylvia@gmail.com and we'll get that set up. Seek support as you do this, either emotional support for you or even just invite more friends to join us on this journey. And I want to invite you to join me as we transition to Zoom so we can turn this lecture into a conversation. So you can post comments here, you can PM me or email me at lifecoachmcsylvia@gmail.com and sign up for that free 20-minute private coaching session. Questions, comments, ideas? Awesome. Remember, forgiveness is a process. You could forgive something and may find out that it will come back later, in which case there are just some additional aspects that you get to forgive that maybe you just weren't ready for when you did it the first time around. It's a growth process. It's a gradual process, and we get what we need in the moment. And if it comes back, just look for the new idea, the new thing you're ready for your growth. I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you for your willingness to practice forgiveness in support of healing the souls of humanity. I'm Sylvia McIntosh with Make Your Life Your Own Life Coaching, and I will see you here next Friday.